What's up, y'all? Today's video 50, big one. It's called Tiamat and the Four Winds. Okay, Tiamat and the Four Winds. So Marduk, the great hero of Babylonian mythology, conquers Tiamat and he gets the 50 stars. And that's why America has 50 states. America is Babylon. But here we go. Let's understand what that means. How about that for a change? 50, 50. In Hebrew, this is the letter Nun. Nun represents a fish. So you have basically Mem, M and N, right? Just like in the English alphabet, they're right next to each other in Hebrew. M and N, Mem and Nun. Nun, Mem is waters. So there's two sets of waters, waters above and waters below. Waters above, waters below. It's a spine, okay? The water is the cerebrospinal fluid and the electrostatic current that flows through it. And the information, okay? Because as many computer scientists have noted, a sperm cell is a memory storage, okay? This is things that people need to think about. So what's happening in your circuitry? Like, so for we have these two different electric currents, like two different sides, right? It's like basically a polarized electrostatic conductor, okay? But it has a lot of other components through it. But the important thing is to know what the cerebrospinal fluid is and to know that it pumps through the body just like blood, but in a different kind of vibration level. So it pumps through, and there's things called craniosacral therapy that's based on this fact, and then like chiropractic pretty well, or osteopaths back in the day, right? So they all knew all about this. And like you can adjust the bones in the skull. There's all kinds of crazy stuff you can do with that if you know what you're doing. But it's very dangerous. You should be super high level expert before you go to try to reset people's bones and stuff like that. But my point is to say that, okay, so bones, let's look at bones. Bones are electrostatic in nature. They're piezoelectric semiconductors. You know what I'm saying? And when they get a stress or a weight put on them, it builds up a charge. Okay? This is some deep ass shit. And you should maybe read, if you're interested in that, read Bodhidharma's fucking bone marrow washing classic. That's the basis of all wushu and martial arts in the fucking eastern half of the planet. You know, this guy is not a joke, man. He was telling you all that. Okay, but let's talk about this serpent of energy and the great goddess Tiamat. So in our solar system, there's a big asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. Okay? So a lot of people understand that the Kabbalah and the Tree of Life is a map of space, actually. And so between Chesed and Gevorah, there is a big abyss, right? Dot, the abyss. The abyss is a state of quantum indeterminacy from our point of view. But symbolically, it represents this gigantic planet that would have been the biggest planet in our solar system that was smashed and fragmented into a series of other planets. And that was the great goddess Tiamat. And so what's the story behind this? Okay, so in the Vedic system, I really like. The Vedic system explains it pretty well. I don't really want to call it the Vedic system, but it's like Hindu system, right? Let's say, or pre-Hindu even. Indra is a thunder god, okay? Just like Marduk, just like Jupiter, just like Yahweh. Oh, the barbarous names. If you guys only knew the barbarous names. The barbarous names are these vowel tones, and that's what the great serpent is, right? So vowels in language are continuous sounds. They're sounds that are not interrupted by obstruction of any part of the anatomy, right? Otherwise, you got dentals, labiodentals, glottal stops, bilabial fricatives. Like there's all these different categories of consonant tones, right? Consonant tones are like interruptions of the vowels. So they had these books called the barbarous names, and they were just a series of vowel tones that were said to be the creative force of the universe. And symbolically, that represents Tiamat, the endless serpent, right? Like, you can hold a vowel, but you can't really hold a consonant, right? A consonant is an interruption in the flow of the vowels, okay? So there's 7 vowels. That's important to understand in this system. 7 vowels allow the pronunciation of the barbarous names. Now, when you get into Hindu Tantra and Mantrayana and all that stuff, it's really the same. But the point is to understand that this great serpent, this in the sky, the dragon, right, is the galactic plane as viewed from our planet. Okay? Everything was made out of some giant serpent that came from there. But the story of Tiamat and this, I think it was called Vritra or something, that Indra had to slay. So Indra, just like Marduk, has thunderbolts, and he blasts the great serpent, storm goddess, and fashions all the planets and everything that we know out of it. So that's the story. So anyway, we're still living in this story right now. I mean, the story has not ever ended. It's never had an interruption. It's never had an interruption in its flow. It's still flowing now. So the point of it is to understand this myth and how it pertains to our existence and the nature of human beings. Okay? So basically, Tiamat, or this great serpent in all these myths, was hoarding all the water, and nothing could live, right? So at some point, different figures come in to deal with Tiamat in a certain way. But since today's video is video 50, we're going to talk about Noon, the fish. So Mem is the ocean and Noon is the fish. So what's an ocean? It's basically salt water, right? So what's a fish? A fish is something that temporarily pumps the salt water through itself to gain energy and the power of movement, as well as some level of consciousness, right? But metaphorically, within us, in the microcosmic level, this is our little units of our body energy, right? So for men, they have sperm, and women have, their eggs and whatnot. Their ova. They have eggs. So this is like a fluidic energy in the body that circulates all the time. It's what gives everyone life and consciousness. But if you waste it and you don't channel that energy, it's going to kill you and destroy you and drive you crazy, actually. So what is the purpose of it? Well, it has 2 purposes. Number 1 is to create life. Number 2 is to build the brain, right? So, like I was saying, the cerebrospinal fluid and these fluids that are secreted through our sex glands and whatnot, these are all the same fluid. Like, if you analyze it chemically, it's the same stuff, right? So if you circulate it properly, it gives you vitality, strength, intelligence. But its main purpose is to energize the brain and the consciousness. Okay? So you got the fish that has to swim upstream. But the main point of today's story, that was just to explain Noon, the letter Noon, and the fish and what it is. And it's basically like a unit of our energy. And you could think of it like a sperm cell, because something will be created out of that. Like, it's a miniature that will evolve one way or another. It'll unfold like a flower, one way or another. And so the question is, what are you doing with your magic wand? Are you just waving it around? Or are you fucking focusing the energy and using it on something? I don't have to tell you what the magic wand is, but just a thunderbolt in certain sense, in the mythical sense. Okay, so the Vajra thunderbolt. So Indra, all the other gods are totally fucked by Tiamat. They can't do shit. They're all trapped and they got no water. Tiamat's sucking up all the water. They're scared shitless, and they're all fucking running amok. And they're begging. They come begging to Indra. They come begging to Marduk. They come begging and begging. Please help us. Tiamat's choking the fuck out of us all. We're all gonna die. Okay? They're like, Zeus, help us do this. Let's make this work. So what does Zeus do? Okay, first of all, take out a telescope. Oh fuck. People, these telescopes exist. You can get them. Okay, they're really cheap now and they're super good and they're easy to get. Go look at Jupiter. It has four, even even a tiny lens, you could see the moons of Jupiter. Right? Four big major moons. So the symbol of Jupiter has always been the 4. So Jupiter sends, or Marduk sends the 4 winds into Tiamat's throat and blows her apart. And from the pieces he creates the world. But for doing so, he gets the 50s. You know, he gets all the 50s. All estates. Right? All the stars are his now, because he conquered the great beast. So, in the Kabbalah, there's 2 beasts, right? There's Behemoth, which is, we now have Behemoth. That's still a word that's rarely used, but Behemoth is the version in Hebrew. Interestingly, if you add a P to it, you get Baphomet. Crazy, huh? Anyways, then there's the sky beast, right? There's 2 beasts. Or no, Leviathan, that's the other beast. So what's Leviathan? That's an endless serpent. That's eternal. That's the oldest thing that's ever existed. Leviathan literally means the raised serpent. So why is it raised? Oh, it's the fucking sky. Holy shit. Sky serpent. It's the galactic plane. Come on, people. Put this shit together. Anyway. Everyone goes and thinks, oh, a magic snake, a talking snake. Like, oh, the burning bush. Oh, yeah, well, there is a burning bush. But I mean, you know, whatever. Anyways, everyone thinks it means nothing related. Just all related to murder and fratricide. Like, they don't understand anything, like any metaphor, poetry, words, letters. It's such a simple level. They've simplified it down so clear, black and white, literally. But no one reads, no one cares, no one listens to the story, and they imagine it in their own way, and they reimagine it and use it and distort it a million different ways to make you all kill each other. And that's considered religion in your world. But in actuality, religion is the kingdom of heaven. It's already right there for everybody. It's completely fucking free. It doesn't cost you anything. And all you have to do is admit where you came from. It's really that fucking simple. But everyone's down here. Materialism, okay? It's a death cult. Death cult, okay? Energy is what we are. Information is what we are, mostly. The good part of us. You know? Everyone's focused on materialism, and look at the world that it creates. Because we have no respect for the Great Mother of wisdom and space and infinite vastness. Okay? So where we all come from. So let's talk about Tiamat again. So you got that movie, The Hobbit, where Bilbo goes and gets the magic ring and everything. And the city's about to get burned by the dragon. Because by going in there and rousting out the magical shit, the dragon is pissed and just roasts everybody. You know what I mean? But who stops it? The archer. Hello? Archer, Sagittarius, ruled by Jupiter. He shoots it with the 4 winds. With this arrow. I mean, you could see the movie does a pretty good job with their symbolism of capturing Marduk, you know, the Marduk symbolism. So what are the 4 winds? How do you use them? And how do you bring balance and restore the Great Mother back together so everyone doesn't have to kill each other? It seems pretty simple, you know, and it's the greatest story ever told and never read and never understood. So maybe you should think about it.